most of my clients, they're in the victim role, and they are very self-destructive, and we try to...
Is that familiar? Just take a moment. That is a mental health problem, isn't it?
Yeah, and it makes me sad. If I see people destroy their opportunities, it makes me sad. And
so
I don't know what to do.
You become victimized by their victim story.
That's correct. I want them to do good for themselves.
Yes. You want them so they'll stop bothering you with their victim story. I know what you mean. I wish you would wake up so I could take a walk.
I want them to be happy.
Yes, be happy, damn it. You're bringing me down again. I can relate to your story. I can relate to it. It's an edge, isn't it? It's an edge to work with people who are suffering greatly.
Who want to suffer. It's like
yes, who want to suffer, and you don't want to suffer, and yet. So how is it you are suffering?
I don't get it. Why do they do that to themselves?
I'm pointing to how it is they do it.
Why do they do that?
They do it exactly the same reason you do it to yourself.
Well, I'm usually trying to be happy.
But not right now. Well, same thing. They're trying to be happy. They're trying to be happy, very desperately. So how is it, though, I'm quite serious in this, how is it their suffering makes you unhappy? What is it you have to do with their suffering to make yourself unhappy with it?
Well, it's their suffering, I suppose.
Well, that's true. That's fine. We know that. But there's something that happens that makes it your suffering. And I just want to know what that is. Because then you will have a real cue or clue as to what the dynamic that they try to be happy and can't be happy, how that operates.
Maybe letting go of the sense to be responsible for the happiness.
No, this is, now you're looking for a solution. I'm asking you to look and see what is the mechanism. What is the mechanism in your thought process? What is the moment where their suffering makes you unhappy? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I don't think it is a bad thing. So I'm not saying it's something you should correct. I think it's actually quite useful. Then you get to experience unhappiness, and that actually, your heart can break even wider. So I'm not saying correct this, but your question to me was, why is it they do this? How is it they do this? And the answer to that is found in how and why you do this.
Okay.
So are you aware of some story that you tell yourself about, maybe take a particular client in your mind that after you have been with, you are sad because they won't get off it or they won't stop suffering? What do you tell yourself?
Well, I tell myself this is an intelligent person, and they ought to know this is tries to be spiritual, reads literature, so they ought to know their God and live as if they were.
That's right.
And how come they can't translate what they know into their actions?
Yeah, so now we're speaking of the paradox. This is brought exactly the point of our meeting today. This is an intelligent being who has had experiences of God, spiritual experiences, and yet still they continue to be unhappy, to suffer. They can see what they do. They can see the consequences of what they do. So we're not speaking of someone who can't see that.
No, I'm talking about intelligent people.
Yes, good. I'm happy you are, because that's where the paradox is.
Yes.
So if you don't fix this paradox in yourself or in them, just for a moment. I love that your work is to fix it. But just for this moment, you don't fix it with philosophy and you don't fix it with religion. You don't fix it with what they should be doing. You don't fix it with what they are doing. You just meet the paradox. Here is intelligence and gross ignorance. Because you're speaking of ignorance.
Yeah.
How is it that the two coexist?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And in that saying, I don't know, is there an energy that you feel or an emotion?
Yeah. I don't want to say sadness.
But there is.
Yeah.
There is sadness there, I can see it. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with sadness? You see, in our simplistic view of spirituality, we keep sadness out. But what if you invite the sadness that is there in closer? What if you meet this sadness with your full being, with your full intelligence? Not with spiritual or psychological or philosophical shields, but just directly. What? What's that?
I get like a slide, a downward slide.
Yes. So let's go down. We go together.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's drop in something deeper even than sadness.
I don't want to.
I know. I understand that. But just for the purposes of investigation, for discovering a why and a how that has not been discovered, let's go together where you don't want to go.
Okay.
What are you experiencing?
Like hopelessness.
Yes, that's right. That's deeper even than sadness. So let us go into hopelessness just as you went into sadness. Not keeping it out because it's not spiritual, it's not intelligent, it's not psychologically hip, but just to meet it. Not indulging it with some story, but meeting it with your intelligence.
It feels like dissolving of everything. Everything is dissolving, and there's no more form.
Yes, let it go. Just for our purposes. Let it all go. In this experience of dissolution, which is different from a theory of dissolution, in the direct experience.
Well, actually, for me that's okay.
It feels all right, doesn't it?
For me it does.
For everyone.
It's like, well, who cares, really?
Really, but not a casual who cares. It's really, it's a like, beautiful experience.
Yeah.
It's an
absolutely
experience of joy and laughter.
Yeah, it's the opposite of control.
Yes. So you have clearly experienced that in other realms.
Oh, yeah.
But in this realm of like being with your clients or being with aspects of yourself without the shield of either substance or practice or mantra or amulet or ritual, without the shield of that, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. It all has its place, it's all beautiful, it all serves. But in a moment of just nakedly meeting what hasn't been met, then there is another opportunity for dissolution.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad.
At the very least, it's not bad. And in the beginning of not wanting to go there, there's a sense of it's bad. Yes, that's right. That's right. I don't want to go there. That's right. So we go together. In a moment. While you have resisted, even without knowing it, or resisted in others, as you were speaking, in your clients, their suffering, their sadness. If there's resistance to it, doesn't matter if it's in them or if it's in you, it's really all the same. There's a possibility to meet it in a deeper, conscious, naked way that has nothing as the cause of the dissolution other than the meeting.